Hello guys, this is Yara, and you want to find out how to defeat Drytron? Then you came to the right place. In today's video, we're gonna find out how to defeat Drytron. But before we get started, I just want to make a little announcement that starting today, I will be posting daily videos on this channel until we hit 1,000 subscribers, and then from there on, I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do, but you'll be seeing more from me starting today. So you're gonna want to subscribe to this channel. But now let's get started on how to defeat Drytron. Let's go.
Are you ready now? Turn it up. Are you ready for this?
So, unfortunately, Drytron is one of those decks that can only be beaten by the correct main deck or side deck. So for you, I will have two lists for you today. I have the God tier cards that are good either going first or second, and then I'm gonna have some A tier cards in another, I'm gonna show you guys after this, that are good mainly for specific instances. They're not good like at all times, but these ones are the God tier cards, and then I'm gonna show you when you should use them as well. But yeah, you're more than welcome to add this either to your main deck or to your side deck, and they will help you tremendously in beating Drytron. Okay, so to begin with, we have Joel and Lockbird is the bane of their existence. This pretty much stops their turn, and you pretty much want to do it as soon as possible. If they start out with either Cyber Emergency, they add one of their Drytron monsters, and then you drop the Droll. If they start out with Fafnir, it's gonna suck for them because they're gonna add either Nova or Medionis, and then you drop the Droll, and he stops their turn again. So if they don't have orange in hand, which is the negate, then they're pretty much forced to like pass turn. So if anything, you should have Droll already on your main deck now. It's being seen in almost every single main deck, 3 copies of it. So it's just not good against decks like the Zoo Tri Brigade. It's not really good against. So if you're going against that deck, you're gonna want to side it out. But it's almost good against every other matchup. So be sure to add Droll to your main deck. But yeah, let's keep going forward. And Dimensional Shifter is good going first or second. If you're going first, you activate this before you send any cards to the graveyard, and then it's a lingering effect, so it's gonna affect them even on their turn as well. And if they're going first, you drop this pretty much whenever. The good thing about fighting Drytron is that you don't have to worry about Gamma, because they can't run Gamma, because Driver is one of those cards that can be normal summoned. So they can't be running the Gamma package, so you can drop this pretty much whenever you want to. So usually you want to wait until they commit at least one monster, so that they're forced to leave that one monster just out in the field. But you can drop it pretty much whenever you want to. So Dimensional Shifter stops their turns almost every time. So then we have Impermanent, and you may be asking yourself, why don't they have Valor? The reason being is because Impermanence doesn't get negated by Orange. Orange only negates monster effects. So Impermanent is a God tier card against their deck. And you might be asking, when should I use it? Well, there's 2 instances in when you should use it. First of all, you want to use it against Diviner, because it stops them from sending a card, and also stops her from modulating her level. So they won't be able to go into Beatrice, because they usually use Diviner to go into Beatrice. So you want to use it pretty much whenever they use the normal summon effect. So and also another crucial target that you want to do is right here, Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir. Pretty much I win almost every single game that I imperm the Mu Beta, like on summon, because it stops pretty much 2.5 effects, because it's gonna stop the milling effect, on the unsummon milling effect, so they won't be able to send one of their Drytron monsters. But it's also gonna stop them from using detaching materials as cost to ritual summon, so that's crucial for their strategy. So you pretty much want to drop the impermanence as soon as this is summoned, so they won't be able to mill a monster. So yeah, impermanence is so good against this deck. So these are your targets, either Herald or Mu Beta with impermanence. And yeah, Valor is gonna be on your A tier list that we're gonna go after this, because Valor can be not only can you can only use it during their main phase, which usually when I use it during their main phase, but it also gets negated by orange, so that's why I have it in the A tier, but it's good if you want to run it. So, and then we have the cycle reader. This card used to be the bane of their existence back then when Ben 10 was at 3, and now that Drytron is popular again, we're gonna put it back on our side decks. I think this card is better on the side deck because it's only good against specific targets because it banishes 2 light targets. So it's not good against Tri-Brigade. It's not good against Dragon Link. It's decent against Dragon Link, but yeah, this is more of a side deck god tier card. So yeah, and you pretty much want to use it either on Ben 10 and one other Drytron cards, or you want to use it on 2 Drytron monsters. So yeah, any 2 is pretty much good. You kind of want to get rid of Ben 10 because Ben 10 is kind of like a one of those cards that they keep recycling, so you just gotta kind of want to get it out of the way as soon as possible. So yeah, and that's it for the god tier cards. You pretty much, this stops their turn on their track, so you want to either run this on your main deck against Drytron, or on your side deck. So yeah, now let's go to our A tier cards. So for the A tier cards, we have a whole bunch of cards. So all these cards are the ones that are decent against it, and I'm gonna talk on each one, and I'm gonna tell you why I have them at decent. And you may be like, these are god tier cards, and I'm gonna explain to you why they're decent, right? So first of all, we have Ash. Ash is really good, and you usually want to use it on, let me see. Yeah, you usually want to use it on Thuban or Alpha, because this is what's gonna search the Benton. So yeah, you usually want to Ash the Alpha because they have more ways to get into Minionis. They usually only have like a couple of ways to get to Benton, so this should be your target with Ash. So but yeah, the reason why as well I have Ash on the A tier and not god tier is because of orange as well, right? If they have orange, they can just negate it. And yeah, so and it doesn't stop like the Mu Beta, like it only stops the milling effect, but they can still use it to detach materials as cost. So that's what I'm saying, it's good, but it's not like god tier. Effect Veiler does the same thing as Impermanence, but you run the danger of them having orange, and you can only use it during their main phase as well, so that's another reason. The Ghost Bell would be good if it negated all summons of their Drytron monsters, but it actually only negates them if they're already on the graveyard. So it's not like Nadir Servant where it checks a resolution. No, this is more like the Drytron monster has to be already on the graveyard, and then you can drop the bell. So it's a little bit different. You can also hit the Minionis with this because they usually want to target one of their Drytrons to add it back to their hand. So whenever they do that, you do this, you drop the bell, and they're gonna be mad at you. But yeah, bell is pretty decent against them. So, and then Dark Ruler No More. You may be asking, but Yara, why Dark Ruler No More is decent and I god tier? Because of this card right here. Usually they have 3 orange lights. Well, they have an Ava and 2 orange lights in their hand at the end of their turn. So even if you Dark Ruler No More them, they still have like 3 negates in their hand. They're gonna have 3 negates in their hand. So it's not that good, honestly. It doesn't stop their turn. It's not a guaranteed win. And guess what? If you Dark Ruler No More them, they're not gonna lose that turn because they take no damage. So you kind of want to stop them and then kill them. You don't want them to have another turn because this deck will kill you in 1 turn, trust me. Natasha, have you heard of that card? That card is crazy. It will literally kill you. So you don't want to give them another turn. You want to kill them as soon as possible. So that's why Dark Ruler No More is decent, because although it does stop all the monsters on the field, not the one in their hand, right? So Mask of Restrict, it's pretty good. The way they play around it is by getting to Zeus. So they're usually gonna want to find a way to get to Zeus one way or another. So one way they can do it is by using Nova, and then normal summoning Eva or Valor or something, and going to a rank 1 and attacking, and then going into Zeus, getting rid of the Mask of Restrict. So this is only good when you know you're going first, but if you don't know for sure you're going first, it's not really that good. So that's why I have it at decent as well, and it's not a guaranteed win also. So droplets, for the same reason that Dark Ruler No More, is because they still have cards in their hand that they can negate you with. So it's that's what I'm saying, like you gotta, it's kind of tricky. Like Drytrons don't solely rely on Herald to win games, they also rely on orange, right? And some, I've seen some even running green, the Herald of Green, so you gotta watch out for that as well. So Nibiru, same reason, a lot of the times they can get to this before the 5th summon. So even then, and even if you do drop the Nibiru at the correct time and they don't negate it, they can still play through that, right? They have a lot of extenders. So Nibiru is just one of those that I never sided in versus them, because the good Drytron players will have orange before the 5th summon, though they will have this before the 5th summon, so it can get kind of tricky at that point, right? So and the Kaijus, same reason, because of the Dark Ruler No More and the droplets, is because yes, you get rid of the Herald, but you still gotta worry about the orange light. So all these are decent cards that they're not bad to side in versus them or to main deck versus them, but they're not like god tier cards, right? So it's up to your own discretion. So whatever works best with you. If you're gonna run any kaijus, I do recommend running this one because of the statue. It's a wind, so if you're gonna when you're playing against Tri Brigade, I know a lot of them don't run the statue anymore, but some still do, and you don't want to lose to a statue, or some dinos even run statue, so you don't want to lose to a statue. So run this kaiju right here. So yeah, and a couple of things that you may want to remember as well is that they will kill you. If you give them another turn, they will kill you. So you kind of want to either run all their resources, or because they're gonna want to go into Zeus, right? If their play doesn't work, if their Herald play doesn't work in beating you, the next turn they're gonna go into Natasha, they're gonna go into Access Code, they're gonna go into Zeus. They have a lot of go in second place, so you kind of want to like get rid of all the resources, or you want to kill them outright. So yeah, just manage your resources well, and you should be able to beat this deck. This deck is not unbeatable. If anything, their biggest enemy is themselves. They tend to break a lot. One interruption usually ends their turn, so as long as they don't have orange in hand. Now with the Diviner, they can play through more interruptions, but a lot of the times they break a lot. Same issue that they had back then, they still have it now. Less often now, but they still break. It's just the nature of the deck, it breaks a lot. But yeah, keep these tips in mind, and then you should be able to have a good win rate versus Drytron. So as always, this was Yara here, and I will catch you on the next video. Enjoy.